Good Friday afternoon to you. Welcome to the Oil Stream here on Edmonton Sports Talk, live on TuneIn, iHeartRadio, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, as well as those watching on YouTube, and for those listening to the podcast in the future, welcome from the past. I used that on the Hangout today. We never give praise and welcome to the podcast listeners. Matt Iwanyk, Zachticum with you here at the desk. We got YouTube Trev behind the camera on the other side. Not gonna lie, here on the Oil Stream presented by Boston Pizza, I am my attention's kind of elsewhere a little bit at this moment, as I've got on my phone and on my computer, I've got women's shot put final as Sarah Mitten's going for shot put gold. She's thrown twice. Not exactly at the level that I think she wants to be at. And then I got the breakdancing women's semis, quarter semis, finals going on my phone because I am falling in love with this addition to the Olympics, which is breaking. Zach, you don't like it.
It's not that I don't like it. I enjoy it. I get the hype around it, and I'm watching it, and I'm just smiling the entire time. Like, I came in here, you're sitting there on the couch, you're watching breaking, and Dean was not a fan of it at all. Very vocal about that. But I get that it's in there. It's not very much a sport to me, but I'm watching it, and there is a lot of athleticism to it. It's exciting. I like watching it, so it is entertaining. So the fact that it's there, I actually do appreciate it. And I had my eyes glued to the screen, I can't lie. The
best part about it is that they go 1v1. Like, it's head-to-head. It's... How do they call it here? It is a battle. It's the break girls gold medal battle that happens. I am all for the battle and stuff. And when you get to go 1 versus 1, and it's who's better between the two, and then they're taunting each other and they're making like gestures towards each other while doing their break, and even the other one's kind of like having to play it off. It's cool. It's awesome. And the men's get going tomorrow. And what the heck was his name? Phil the Wizard or something?
Yeah, Phil Wizard.
Phil Wizard. Canadian, has a chance for an Olympic gold potentially.
And they're going by, I heard it on the Lock Shop now, they're going by like one names. Like I like how they get to pick their own names. You guys were all talking about that. Like there was 671 and
she got robbed. Yeah. She got robbed. She beat the girl from Netherlands. Her name was India, I think. India from the Netherlands. 671 or 641. She beat her. It was way better. Her moves were incredible, and somehow she loses.
And it's all voted on, right? Like,
yeah, they got a panel of 9.
And I like the panel of 9.
What I gather from this is that they go up and they dance the first round, and then the 9 people vote, and then they do a second round, and the 9 people vote again, and it's just the total. How many people did you impress between the two?
Yep.
The biggest win I saw was 17-1. Domination. And it wasn't 6-4-1. I don't know why 6-4-1 didn't do it.
What's 6-4-1 or 6-7-1?
I think it's 6-4-1.
Oh, well, my apologies, 6-4-1.
I'd have to double check.
How do you come up with that name? And Wizard's cool. I'll be rooting for Wizard tomorrow. Having a panel of 9 judges makes a lot of sense, though, because if you just had 3... You know, it's so askew. It's like, well, I don't know. It depends on what like where are these judges from? What country? Maybe they might have the bias. I don't know. There's all the stuff behind the scenes. But having 9 is a good enough number. It's almost like the jury. Well, that's 12 or something. But 9 judges is a lot of people to say, yeah, I like this, I like that, and to score breaking. Like, come on, that would be such a fun job. To just be there. How do you get that job?
6-7-1. Sorry, 6-7-1.
6-7-1. 6-1-9. Rey Mysterio. That's a lot of numbers. A lot of good numbers. I was also like, I'm very curious as to how many, like, how do you get a part of that? How do you
get into breaking?
Well, get into breaking, but there's like the judging of it. How do they call on these judges? Are there
it'd be like the same I would think with refs and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so there's like, I'm assuming these are large part former breakers or dancers themselves. And then they can't do it anymore. Even though I don't know if either of you have seen the video of the Australian that was up there. It was one like, good effort. You get to say you're an Olympian. Good effort. Good attempt.
I was disappointed by hers because she came out there like guns a-blazing. And she was like, she had all the swagger in the world, and then she does a few kangaroo jumps, like themed dances. And I'm no expert in breaking, but I'm like, that's not going to cut it. When you got 6'7" doing spinning backflip, like it was just incredible.
This is one. That's one where she gets to say she's an Olympian and she was there, and she probably knew she went in. She wasn't having a chance at the gold medal in this one. That one's circulating on Twitter right now a little bit. So if you find it's worth a little bit of watch. But yeah, when you watch everything else at the quarters, they're like, yeah, there's a reason she's not there. Big news also before the oil stream started. I don't know. I didn't hear the end of the lock shop, so I don't know if Huss and Jake got to it. But big win by the Canadians 4x100 meter relays. The team, neither of the four made it to a final of the 100 meter. Neither of the four made it to a final of the 200 meter. But together, they're gold medalists. They're best in the world. What an anchor run by Andre de Grasse. Me and Trev were watching it together just in our little lobby. I don't know, what do we call that? Family room area or whatever it is. And we didn't think de Grasse was like going to do it. It looked like he fell behind. And then like the final 30 meters, 40 meters, just took it over.
You guys were screaming. Like I was just sitting behind the monitors making sure lock shop was running good. And then I see Trev walk over and it goes, oh! And it was just, it was exciting. It's nice to see him win. Nice to see another Canadian gold medal. As you would say it, as everyone should say it, suck it, America.
Yeah, they got DQ'd.
Ha!
It was huge. Obviously the 100 meters the big one, 200 meters the next big one. The 4x100 relay is massive as well. And the Canadian men got silver, I think, last Olympics out in Tokyo. They got a bronze in 2016, but I think that was elevated later. I could be off on that one because of doping. Maybe not. Maybe they just went out and earned it. And then Andre de Grasse wins his 7th medal, I believe it is, which ties him with Penny Alexiak for the most decorated Canadian Olympian, I believe it is, ever. So he does it with the gold. What a way to do that. What a way to get done. His 2nd gold. He won the 200 meter in Tokyo and now wins this one. So our men going out there 4x100. What a moment. Those are the moments you remember. They're very short, but they're awesome. And Trev, you saw watch. I didn't get to go see it, but Donovan Bailey and Ron McLean, they showed them in the studio and how excited they were.
Yeah, their reactions were just super genuine. They were pumped. You never see that bias, I guess. You can't really, but I guess in the Olympics it's a little different, right? You're cheering on your country, so it was cool to see. But I honestly don't remember ever watching much of the track. Like I always watch the 100, the 200, but never the relays. So that was cool to see. And right from the get-go, I was dialed in. I'm like, go, 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 go. Oh, so that was really cool. It's Team Canada, the women's, they didn't, I think they finished 7th in their respective round or whatnot. But they were there to cheer on Team Canada right at the end. So that was cool to see. You love to see it. And who knows, Andre de Grasse, maybe his last Olympic, probably.
29. It'd be tough to see him. It'd be tough to go for 4. So 4 years from now in LA.
To go out on top, that's the way you do it.
No better taste than gold. And then women's beach volleyball. Also
2:30 today.
Gold. Yeah.
Well, so if I'm not mistaken, I think 7 golds in a non-boycott Olympics is a Canadian record, and 24 medals is the record in a non-boycotted games for Canada. We now have 7 golds, so we've tied our record of golds at a non-boycotted games, and we have 23 medals overall. We are getting a 24th because beach volleyball will happen. We will get a medal, whether it's gold or silver. So we're going to we're tied in both of those. So all we need is another medal somewhere else to break that record and one more gold somewhere else to break that record. Phil Wizard is one chance to get that gold. I'm paying attention to shot put right now as Sarah Mitten is one of those shots at a gold. And I'm trying to think. I don't know what else there would be out there for medal hopefuls after that. But one Olympics for us.
Yeah.
Good for Canada. We went out there having the hopes of maybe one of our best Olympics ever, and we've done it. No matter what, worst case scenario, we've tied our history of most golds and most medals at a Summer Olympics. So,
and you were saying
Canada.
the non-boycotted ones. So
Non-boycotted.
Which Olympics was it that was boycotted where Canada got 24 medals and what was it?
Was it the? It was in the
Or
80s.
Back in the 80s, yeah.
Because they boycotted
19.
the Moscow games in 80. I believe it was. So then Moscow and like some Soviet countries boycotted the 84 LA games, if I'm not mistaken. And that year, Canada won 44 medals, 10 golds, 18 silvers, 16 bronze. Woo. But you took out a bunch of nations right off the, like there was a few nations that didn't show up, so that does help Canada in that situation.
Yeah.
So that is our Olympic record, which would be the 84 Olympics in LA. But again, those were boycotted, so not everyone was fully there. Whereas like Russian athletes, they can compete. They can't do it under the Russian banner, and they're not Russians, but the Russians can still compete. And it wasn't, and even for the reason they're not there as Russians, it's not because of a boycott, it's because of a doping scandal. So
yeah, that big one, what, 2 years ago or something?
With Russia, I have no idea. It goes back to 2014 when they had a massive statewide doping program because they were hosting the 14 Olympics that went both Olympics and Paralympics. So it was, yeah.
What a way to try and win. Can't do it legit, so you gotta.
Well, that's
try and cheat.
That is sports largely, and that's also like the thing with Olympics and stuff. Like you find out a little bit later who has going. I know there's a lot of attention drawn to China right now when it comes to these Olympics and some doping and things like that. So we'll see what comes out of it, if anything comes out of this. The Canadian is up to shot put right now.
Oh, we're doing play-by-play.
No, I just said she's up to shot put right now. It's already been thrown, Zach.
Oh.
I didn't go with what it was. I now want to see what she got for a score because she hasn't actually been up there. She's one of the favorites to come into this final. She didn't stay in the circle, I don't think.
See, I remember track.
So she doesn't get it. And I think that was a really good throw. So she's a little behind. Sarah Mitten's going to have to do a little bit more in the shot put.
Sarah Mittens. What a good name. There's
Mitten.
Mitten.
Okay, I got to go with it because people are saying these things. Nasty chat, Jasmine. Fit check. Check mark is tight, Zach.
Yeah.
In the nasty chat. Nice lid, kid. Zach to cap. Bucket hat Zach. You guys are all wrong. The bucket hat sucks. I don't care who wears it. The bucket hat is an awful look. All credit to Ben Stick Brewing who dropped off that hat. I like the style of the hat, like of the what's printed on it.
Yeah, the retro wave. I don't know if you could see
bucket hats do not need to be coming back. No bucket hats. You remember Trick's out there wearing his bucket hat on the golf course. It looks stupid on him. Doesn't look good on you. Enough with these bucket hats.
Maybe you're jealous because it doesn't look good on you.
I don't want to. I don't want it to look good on me. I don't even want to try it on to see if it looks good on me.
Okay.
No.
It's a good fit. No, it was a nice gift. I needed a new bucket hat. I used to wear bucket hats all the time to Nate, and I had the long hair and everything. And I had a corduroy bucket hat that I loved, and I lost it. It was bad. And then I had a Germany one too. And now I have a new fresh bucket hat. So Eric got the Tilly hat. I got the bucket hat.
Tilly hat?
Yeah, like it's like a fishing cap basically. It's got like a drawstring. It's very similar to a bucket hat, but it doesn't droop down as much.
I will say the one thing is I could respect that bucket hat a little bit because it's not the lid's not that long. I've seen some that go a little bit that are wider.
Oh, like a full length.
They go further
around, yeah.
And they're even worse. But I am not in favor, and I don't care that I'm just not on board with this. People ask me put it on. No. And I know one of the reasons why Zach wore it today is because he knows how much I hate bucket hats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saved it. I put it in my backpack, saving it for this moment all day. Threw it on right before the show, and he just looked at me, and he was like, why are you wearing that thing? What are you doing? But I'm rocking it. Thank you guys for the...
It says some people, but I wouldn't go there myself.
Wonderful bucket hat. 10 out of 10.
Jess.
Our Jess.
Really, Jess?
Thank
Come
you.
On, Jess. She's just
Thank
being
you.
kind.
Yeah, well, you're being honest, so.
Spency 5 cents. You put the bucket hat covers your neck and ears from the sun. Yeah, but you want the sun. Get the tan going.
Not me. I burn.
You also, like, if you wear this, like, your face is going to tan, but now, like, nothing else is going to, like, your forehead's not going to be tan, and your ears aren't going to be tan, your neck's going to be. It's just going to be a weird tan line at that point.
Sunscreen. I got blonde hair, so I can't be in the sun too long. I was gonna wear this golfing too, but now apparently I'm not.
Why
golfing
not?
Today.
Oh, 'cause you're not
plans got
golfing.
all mismatch, rearranged. Bad plan making. I can't make a plan.
I'm not on
Ever.
board with this. And Jasmine's
No.
causing me problems now.
Well,
Texting that. She was also in the nasty chat during the hangout. I gave her something, and she was mocking me for giving her some advice. It's going to be weird having her on the hangout now. And then you go wearing this bucket hat. It's just not for me. By the way, 671's on the floor. She's breaking right now against the Canadian Kate. So just a heads up, we'll keep you tuned on that one. But for somebody that said, how am I watching this? Honestly, cbc.ca cbc.ca, go there, go to the Olympics page. You can watch anything you want there, or you can just get the CBC Gem app. And everything is there. It's Huss and I were talking about it yesterday on the Lock Shop. Not getting into the full politics behind public broadcaster and CBC, but for things like the Olympics, this is why we need a good broadcaster that gives us everything. And they've done well by bringing TSN and Sportsnet in. All of our sports people have come together for this, and we can watch anything and everything that we want. And we get to keep watching all of our Canadians do well. And the only thing they need is a quad box, because I have to watch it on my phone and on my computer. It would be nice to just have a quad box. I could pick whatever I want.
that would be great. And I mean, you got both screens up right now. Like, genius move right there, having it on the phone and then the laptop. Like, I used to, I don't know. I try and do that when I can, but one day they gotta bring it where it's you could have the multi-screen, just like a red zone, almost like an NFL red zone, even if that. But that would be a lot of production. Having this free, genius though.
Thank you for the poll, Trev.
What was the poll? Do you like the bucket hat?
No, it's I'm gonna get to see how wrong everyone is here.
83% right now.
Our buckets
say,
hat's
6
nice
votes.
/ cool. 83% saying yes.
Wow.
No is 17%, which I think it's me.
That's all just
Put
you.
that vote there.
I'm not even
it's,
going to vote.
It's just you're all people don't like me, so of course they're all gonna vote for that. It's nice because I take the other side on this. If I said the bucket hat was nice, everyone would vote no. Zach, you don't look good. We know how this works here. We know how this is going to play out.
Can we get an EST bucket hat?
No, absolutely not.
Please.
Not a chance.
We
I
need to do
started curating the shop with Chelsea from the Hive yesterday for our pop-up store that will come in the fall. I'm excited about some of the options that we're going to have. A bucket hat, not a chance. Not at all. Won't happen.
EST.
Fire me
socks.
first. Dusty's going to have to fire me if you guys want one.
Wow. Kick it to the bucket. Oh, man. I'm gonna buy a new bucket hat every day now. Or not every day.
Go
I'm
for
gonna
it.
have one
Waste
once a
your
week.
money on that. See if I care.
I just want to hear your comments. Like, at one point, you'll just, like, not even say anything about it. I'm just doing it, see, for the bit. For the bit. I knew you hated it, so I threw it on. I wanted to see what you say, and this is exactly
Although I do
what I
love the
expected.
design of that one.
right.
It's so 90s.
Yeah, it's a retro or vaporwave or whatever it is. Good design. Like, it's a nice color. It would fit golfing.
EST fanny pack.
Yeah,
I do like that idea.
please.
That'd be a good
I want
one.
a fanny pack. I'll wear it on the shoulder though, and then also have my bucket hat on, with hangout socks with the picture of your face and Tom Gazzola.
Oh, well, our faces won't be on hangout socks. It'll be the logo of the show. Or we should get custom socks of EST, but like get your Trev socks, and it's just Trev's face. The Zach socks, and it's just Zach's face.
I don't mind that.
Me with a bucket hat and a
No,
golf
that's
club.
not going to happen.
What? That would
The
be
bucket
amazing.
hat's still not going on there. There's nothing that's going to be EST connected as a bucket hat.
Wow, my
I'm
day
gonna put
was
my
going
foot-
so good until just right now.
So well.
So good. It was going so good.
So well.
I thought they were interchangeable. I'm no language arts wizard or anything. I can barely speak English. Well, do we want to talk hockey and speak?
We will right away here. We're getting the results of the break here. Coming up between 6-7-1 and Ukraine. I'm thinking, as a Ukrainian, I kind of wouldn't mind seeing her lose. But I love also that they have these hype guys that come up on stage.
One of them's got to be wearing a bucket hat, no?
No, they're
Nobody?
definitely not wearing a bucket hat. Although, actually, I could see that.
That would make more sense.
For there. Not even close. 6-7-1 dominates 3 rounds. She wins 20 votes to 7. 6-7-1 moves on at the break, dancing out in Paris. We'll keep you updated on that. We're also going to keep you updated on Sarah Mitten at the Olympics for the shot put, as she only has 3 more shots left. She currently ranks last. She's currently ranked last. So hopefully she could pick it up and get going there. This is the Oil Stream presented by Boston Pizza Summer Short. Making any occasion at BP Patio occasion. Hop on a BP Patio today to try their new summer menu. Fresh eats and drinks to fuel you all your sunny patio hangs. Check them out. This weekend, it's going to be a beautiful weekend.
Yeah, it might even be nice enough to wear a bucket hat out on the patio.
25 degrees for the high today. Tomorrow, 26, 27 on Sunday. Like tomorrow, imagine this. Riverhawks play at 7. Gates open at 5:30. You go hit up a BP's patio, and you head down to Remax Field, and you check out the Edmonton Riverhawks. As they beat down the Bellingham Bills and win game 1 of their best of 3 series in the playoffs. Boom. How's that sound?
Ooh. And for those who want to get caught up on what happened during the season and just a little bit of outlook into the playoff picture for the Riverhawks that starts tomorrow. Of course, 7 p.m. First pitch tomorrow at Remax. You can get your tickets online and everything. But I'll have another episode of Riverhawks Weekly up. I'm the host of that show. Been doing it. It'll be episode 10 of the first season of doing Riverhawks Weekly. So I had Austin Egan, pitcher from Washington, on, and he was talking about the season. Thinks it's great. It's going to be packed down there. It's going to be packed, so you got to reserve your tickets.
I was looking at my tickets. I got my tickets, and this is trending to sell out.
Oh, yeah.
Very easily. Like, trending very easily to sell out. Right now, I would say, looking at the map, because it's all reserve seating, it's not general admission, I would say, because I think it's like 9,000, I would say that they're already over 7.
Yeah, they're already
over closing
7,
in on 8 right now. Like there's get your tickets now. If you're gonna think tomorrow, like, hey, I'm gonna go and maybe I'll decide tomorrow.
Too late.
I think there's a really good chance it's gonna either be too late or you're gonna be picking like between the single seats that are like there's a couple like single spots here and there. You'll have to be doing something like that. And again, it's reserved seating, so you can't just be like, hey, move over. No, like people are paying for their seats and grabbing their seats, so get on it now. And if you can't go, you can catch the game right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, as we'll have that game for you 7 o'clock. Again, doors open 5:30 for that one. Let's talk a little bit of hockey as I'll keep you posted on the shot put and the breaking as it happens. Here's a question to throw your way.
Ooh.
We're waiting for 2 RFAs to sign for the Edmonton Oilers, Dylan Holloway, Philip Broberg. Who's more important for the Oilers to sign going into this season?
So to put it in,
and also maybe I'll go with this: who's it more important to be there for training camp, to be there for the start of camp, that are there on the ice ready to go from the moment camp begins, as opposed to maybe still working out details and maybe taking a little bit longer? Who's more important to having camp for this season? Is it going to be Philip Broberg or is it Dylan Holloway?
I think Broberg, because he was playing in the playoffs, of course, throughout the Stanley Cup final and. Showed very well. First time he really came up to the big league and had that sort of showing, but to have him at training camp and just work out a few things there, have him practicing with the team would be perfect. He's going to be playing on the team. I mean, both players are going to be joining the full squad. Holloway had a pretty decent season throughout the entire way and really ramped it up during the playoffs. Physical showing. But to answer your question, I think Philip Broberg is more important to have there for the start of training camp.
Trev?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Bucket Hat Zach. He's right. I think Philip Broberg, he needs it a little bit more. Dylan Holloway, I'm pretty certain you know what you're gonna get with this guy. But it was really just that playoff stint that we saw with Philip Broberg, so I think he needs as much. He needs to be there for the start of the season. It'll help him a lot. I'd agree with you there, Zach.
Yeah, you gotta. It's one of those things with training camp too, being there. It's just getting legs under you, getting ready, being used to the team and everything like that this season. And I'd want my, if I'm Chris Knobloch, if I'm Jeff Jackson, Stan Bowman, I'd want my defender who's going to be in the top 6. Like, I want them working with their partner and working on that chemistry and going forward, as opposed to there's going to be a lot of moving pieces when it comes to the forward groups anyways. Like, we see that they move things around. So I'm not expecting it to be an issue to have things differently one way through training camp and then mixing Dylan Holloway in a little bit later, where you're trying to lock down your pairings for sure. I think we know what it is, but developing that chemistry moving forward, that I don't want Philip Broberg missing any time, including any sort of practice. So
no, 100%. It's a lot harder to try and find the deep pairing that gels. And there was a lot of tries and, I guess, mishaps and lineups that didn't really fit on the back end. And there's a lot of defensemen for the Oilers, a lot of people on the right side. But to have Broberg, this is the year he really has to come and step up, and to try and find where he's going to slot and fit in is very important. I mean, the forward group, you could really move around a lot if there's a dry spell or there's people that aren't playing like well together, and slotting new people in the lineup. So having really that confidence, I'd like to say, on the back end and finding it out as soon as possible is very important and vital to try and have a good start to the season this year.
Your thoughts, 780-218-9999. That is the Paris Jewelers inbox. You could also jump into the nasty chat where Penner's Pancake says slight lean to Broberg on that one. You've come to the we don't have spelling bee today, and we don't have trivia. I know Mo was asking for some trivia in the nasty chat earlier. You dominated it, Mo. We don't even want to do it anymore because you just absolutely dominated the Zachticum Oilers trivia. Where do you want to go with the list that you have there? You want to start with power rankings?
Sure, let's start with power rankings. Yeah, so there's a lot of movement in the Pacific Division.
Well, we're talking Pacific Division. Right? And so you've got the 8 teams in the Pacific Division, power ranking them. There's no other option but saying the Oilers are the top team right now going into this season, the top of the Pacific Division.
Yeah, no doubt. On paper, they look like the best team. There might be a couple question marks, I guess, around Jeff Skinner, but he has had a couple good years. He hasn't played with really anyone like McDavid or the Oilers, has played with a lot of struggling teams. He was with a lot of great players, don't get me wrong, in his previous stints in Buffalo and with Carolina. And now he really gets a showing to guarantee himself in his very first playoffs. So I think Skinner will be great. He'll fit in with the Oilers. He's a good shooter and everything like that. So Arvidsson, really every single piece that the Oilers have got and brought back looks amazing, and their team is better than they were in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final at the end of the season.
So who's the second best team in the Pacific Division?
See, this is where
is it Vancouver? Is it LA? Is it Vegas? I don't think we're putting anyone else in there. We're not putting the Sharks. We're not putting the Kraken, unless maybe someone else is. We're not putting the Ducks. We're not putting the Flames.
Yeah, that's definitely the bottom 4: Flames, Kraken, Ducks, and Sharks. But between Canucks, Kings, and Knights, I don't know.
I know where I'm going.
It's a bit of a coin flip, but I want to say Canucks. I want to say Canucks fit in that second spot. Losing Lindholm, getting DeBrusk on their team. DeBrusk's a strong player. They had a little bit of movement, but I think they're going to have a really good team again next year, and it's safe to say that they could finish in that second spot where they finished first last year.
So. Yeah, see, and the Canucks are a team to me that is primed for drop-off this coming season. Losing quite a few players. They may have brought in DeBrusk, you bring in Vinny Darren, but they also went and overspent on DeBrusk because they were losing guys. Mm-hmm. And that was a team last year that it's just everything went for. Everything worked well for them. It was just up until playoffs, it was like a near perfect season for the Vancouver Canucks. And I think their PDO was extremely high. And generally what happens when you see those teams with PDO, it doesn't come down mid-season. They continue that throughout the season. It's the next season they get caught up on. And I think we're going to see that with this Vancouver Canucks team, that I'm not sold on them being that high. I think we're going to see a pretty decent drop-off from the Vancouver Canucks. And I won't be sold on the Vancouver Canucks. That my number 2. I just can never bet against the Vegas Golden Knights. It's just they're a team that always is there. They're a team that always gets it done. I am pretty high on Adin Hill. It wasn't exactly the best second half of the season for him this past season, but he was banged up with injury. And it looked like we almost started seeing Adin Hill again late in that playoff, like in the last game, as they got knocked out by the Dallas Stars. He was starting to play quite a bit better. If he shows up and is healthy and plays like he did on that lead up to the Stanley Cup, winning the Stanley Cup the first half of last season, the Golden Knights are a good hockey team. They're loaded with a lot of players. They get a full Thomas Hertl this season. So we'll see how he plays out. And the Golden Knights are one of those teams. I remember the year that they won the Cup. We all went in saying, they have no goaltending. They're going to be trash. And they won the division. They ultimately won the Stanley Cup. And they wasn't even with one of the goalies that they started the season with. So if I have to power rank, I'm still taking Vegas number 2. Oilers 1, Vegas 2. And, I can't put the Canucks there. 1-2 for you, Trev?
Okay, well, obviously, the Oilers are 1. I don't think it's I'm not going to spend too much time there. But this is very interesting. I always do these. I've done this the last few years on my channel. And,
above average. Check it out.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I'm so wrong all the time. I never get it right.
Well, it's not predicting the season. It's power rankings.
Power rankings.
So
yeah.
You can never be wrong with a power ranking in my mind.
And so, like with Vancouver, you lose a little bit up front. Obviously, Thatcher Demko is probably the best goalie in the Pacific. You got Quinn Hughes, but... like you saw when the Oilers, they finally made the playoffs the next year, it was a little bit of a disappointment. That does happen for certain teams, and I'm kind of leaning towards with what Maddie said. I think it's going to be a little bit of a drop-off, but then with the LA Kings, like, their goaltending's pretty mid. Their defense has just gotten older. Their Quinn Byfield, like, their offense is great, but it's like each team in the Pacific, it's kind of, you got question marks. Like, they've got either great offense, but then their defense or goaltending are pretty mediocre. And then, like, that kind of just goes for the Vegas Golden Knights. Like, I'm just looking at their lineup now. Hill, yes, he can be good. He can be. That's what I focus on there. But then you lose Marchessault, who was just an integral part of this team. Conn Smythe winner. But then they have the best defense. Like, I love Hannafin. That was huge that they got him. Petrangelo's obviously a stud. And then you got Shea Theodore, who's he's very underrated. So I'd probably, it pains me to say it, but I'd probably have to lean with Maddie. I think Maddie's right. I think Vegas is going to be second.
People hate to say it. He's right.
Maddie's right.
That was the biggest reason why I didn't put Vegas as like the solidified, cemented second for way too early power rankings. Way too early to really tell anything. But yeah, losing Marchessault, who was the longest serving Golden Knight for years, picked up in the expansion, one of the few players who are still there. And then like they get Holtz, Alexander Holtz, who's proven, I think, 20 goal scorer, right around that range with a trade, and now he's young, he's up and coming, so he's there on that team. Like they're forward. That's the one question, is if their forward group sparks up, I think they could definitely be in that second spot for sure. Like, no doubt about it, cemented number 2 in the Pacific Division.
Yeah, the thing I'll say about the Golden Knights and their defense here, they move on from players all the time and they replace them.
Yeah,
they have no problem pushing someone aside and bringing someone new in, and they always find those players and get things done. So that's why I trust in Kelly McCrimmon largely, and George McPhee, just because they time and time again they find a way to get the players and be competitive through the regular season and into the playoffs. So then if you've got Golden or Canucks 2, who then drops to 3? Or who is 3? I guess not drops, but who would be 3?
Yeah, I would. Well, if I have the Canucks 2, then it would be the Knights.
Golden Knights then 3?
At 3. Like, that's a 2 and 3 spot. Really flip a coin at that point there. It's very close. As I said, if the Golden Knights really show up in their forward group and they're able to gel that way, I think it'll be really, really good. The Canucks, as you mentioned, like, losing a lot of those key players, it's a little bit hard. So, yeah, goaltending, big question for Golden Knights. We know the Canucks have good goaltending. And should with Demko. I do think he is the best goaltender in the Pacific Division. So 1, 2, and 3 for me right now. Oilers at 1, Canucks 2, and Golden Knights at 3 in the Pacific Division. So that leaves 5 more teams.
For you.
For me, yeah. How about...
I think the LA Kings.
The LA
I like
Kings?
the Kings better. I don't like what I don't think the Canucks are a worse hockey team, I believe. I don't think they're going to keep it up from what they did last year. Demko is the big saving grace, maybe. But also one of the questions is, can Demko stay healthy? Is he a goalie that can play 60-some games and also stay healthy? I don't believe in the Vancouver Canucks. And I think the LA Kings improved their goaltending. I think they got better from last. It was pretty hard to be the same as Cam Talbot and Dave Rittich. Darcy Kemper's not exactly a stud, but he is a Stanley Cup winning goalie. He is a better goalie for the Kings than they had last year. And they got away from the Pierre-Luc Dubois contract. Like, they were able to get out of that anchor. He didn't help that team at all. And I think him not being there might actually open some things up for the LA Kings as well. That as much this is almost a little bit more fading the Vancouver Canucks, but also just I like that the Kings found a way to get a goalie that is, again, not a massive improvement, but it's an improvement in net for the LA Kings. That I like the LA Kings, and I'm guessing maybe a little bit more of an open style of game that we're going to see from the LA Kings. So I have the Kings number 3 ahead of the Canucks. It's not sold on the Canucks in any way, shape, or form.
I don't know.
4 for me is the Canucks. I have the Canucks at number 4, so it goes Oilers, Golden Knights, Kings, Canucks for me as my power rankings of the Pacific. Trev, who do you got 3 for?
Oh, this is nice. I like this. Yeah, as much as I want to agree with Maddie here, I'm going to go with the Canucks. I think just at the end of the day, they got a little bit more, but maybe it is like they're top heavy. They've got the better players. Like I'm just looking at Quinn Hughes, who had a career year. You got JT Miller, who also had a career year. Elias Pettersson, obviously he was a no-show in the playoffs, but I don't expect that to be the case to start the season. Brock Besser, also another career year. I'm fascinated to see with how Jake DeBrusk will mesh with this lineup. I think he'll do better than Elias Lindholm because that never quite worked out. But at the end of the day, Elias Pettersson, Quinn Hughes, and Thatcher Demko, like those are you can build a winning roster around them, which we saw last year. Rick Tocchet really seems to these guys listen to him. They really do. So I think it's going to be a drop-off year, but I don't think it's going to be significant. So I guess for all those reasons, I think they're going to be 3rd in the Pacific next year.
It's then 4.
4 for me?
Kings?
Yeah, 4.
And you have?
In that 4 spot, it's...
By the way, I just want to quickly up the shot put. The Canadian, she didn't, there's a second, you have to qualify through 3 throws to get into the final 3. She didn't qualify through that. So I've been paying attention. She's out, so we're not getting a medal in women's shot put. So a little bit of a disappointment there. So sorry, I want to get that there. So now I'll just focus on the breaking now. But so you're number 4.
Yeah, it's tough because I think the Kraken are sneaky, and I did say a bit earlier that would be the bottom 4. But I feel like if they perform, I mean, you could say that about really any team, but they get Chandler Stevenson on their team now. They got him into a big contract, and Tolvanen's still there. I like their forward group. They got a very solid forward group. Their defense is a little bit, young on the back end of it, but you got Vince Dunn, goaltender, huge question mark. I'd say in net with Decord and Grubauer, but on the other side, I'm in between the LA Kings and the Kraken right now.
Okay, if you had to make a pick.
If I had to make it, I know I'm yapping.
Well, if I have to make a pick, you have to make a pick.
Yeah, if I have to make a pick, honestly, I think I'm more comfortable picking the LA Kings because it's less of a toss-up in that sense. The Kraken are improving. They're coming up slowly. They're not the Vegas Golden Knights where they make the final in their first year, but they're slowly building. However, I think the Kings are already that established team, and they have more stability. And overall, I think they're just a more balanced team. So I'll pick the Kings in that 4th spot.
This is the Oil Stream presented by Boston Pizza. Matt Iwanyk, Zachticum, you two, Trev with you here at Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. A reminder, tomorrow we'll have Riverhawks action 7 o'clock here on the audio stream. Sunday, 8 o'clock, we got the VIP golf show with Murray McCourt and Curtis Stock. And then it's also the Green and Gold kickoff show, 4 o'clock. Myself, Jay Millen, Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, where every day is game day. We'll get you set for Elks Lions. We'll also have the post-game show for you. Cheese and jalapeno smoky is the game day special. They also have Surf and Turf as a daily special on Sundays. Jess Jackson has tweeted at us, Zach, you and I, saying, here for the bucket hat support, with a picture of her on what I'm assuming is Yukon Jack's boat in a bucket hat. I will say this, Jess, if you're still listening and you're not prepping some other stuff for your show, check out Jess. Man, it's been a year since I've been at the Bear, so I don't want to get the times wrong. I think 2 o'clock. Or is it 3 o'clock? You're on the air, Jess. Let me double check. You should just go to the Bear when you can. Jess, 2 o'clock, 2 to 6. You could listen to the Jess Jackson show on 100.3 The Bear. Jess, it looks good on you. Maybe it's a male thing. Maybe males can't wear bucket hats. Maybe that's where I'm going with it. That doesn't look good on the males. But
is it because I don't have long hair anymore? You've never, I
you
saw
ran
you
into
me
yeah,
once with
I
my
think
long
so.
hair. I had the rock star hair looking on, almost like LT had.
No, and Jess even has like the longer brim, it looks like, on it. But it works. And maybe it's also because she's on the water at the time.
That's true. There's certain
those
settings.
I can maybe go with it a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in an office in the industrial part of West End of the city. I don't think I need a bucket hat right now. The look's immaculate though. Like, I'm rocking with it. So thanks, Jess. And the bucket hat's such a good look. I don't know. I can't get past that. Trev, do you like bucket hats? What do you think about them?
Yeah, we never got his official.
Maybe I do, maybe I don't. On Monday, you might see me sporting one. Maybe, but maybe you won't. I don't know. Yeah, okay. I'm a big bucket hat guy. I have a hat that LT took that I was kind of eyeing, and I'm gonna wear it. It was gonna be a secret, but Maddie, okay. I'm gonna wear one on Monday, and you're gonna love it. You'll be like, wow, Trev actually looks good in one of them too. And I'm gonna go fishing this weekend, and I'm also gonna wear it, and then I'll take in that photo and say,
see, but isn't that's the hat Eric got? Which is a different. It's not a bucket hat. It's a little bit of a different fishing hat.
It's a Tilly hat. It's more of like a fisherman's hat.
So are you wearing a Tilly hat or are you wearing a bucket hat fishing?
The bucket hat droops down more.
Okay. Well, if a Tilly hat or whatever I have is not considered a bucket hat, I will say I tried one of them on the other day, and I was like, ooh, this is real nice. I put it on immediately, took it off as soon as I flipped my self-camera. I'm like, oof. so
I guess that's the answer. With Maddie.
Just, they don't look good on me, but I don't hate them. They look good on other people, and so I'm all for it.
Maybe it's just the golf course have an issue with it. Maybe I just don't like seeing it at the golf course much.
Doesn't look professional.
It's not even that. It's to say I don't like. The reason I don't like Bryson DeChambeau is he wore that stupid mailman type hat. That's the first reason I didn't like Bryson DeChambeau.
The flat cap? Or that was
that silly, weird thing that Derek Ryan has them. He sports them as well.
Yeah, the flat cap. Like
I think that
British brim. That's the
Bryson DeChambeau.
I think it looks dumb on golf course.
That's what golfers used to wear.
Yeah, we don't golf.
Yeah, so not back to tradition then.
They also golf. Go golf with the old golf clubs then too.
Yeah, I do.
No, like go get like I'm saying that like, go full of pants the same. You want to dress up fully like his back and then go do that. But do not bring that hat to this. That's why I don't like Bryson DeChambeau.
Guys, next year at the second annual Golf Classic, I'll be sporting the flat cap or bucket hat with the old school like plaid pants and the shirt and even the shoes. I'll even go that far. I'll be sporting the old golfing gear.
We got to get through our final teams of our power rankings of the Pacific Division. But portions of this hour of the Oil Stream brought to you by Popeyes. We're launching boneless wings, a continuation of their bone-in wings platform, which allows customers to choose between their ghost pepper bone-in wings or their all-white eat boneless wings with a milder flavor. You get with their existing sauce offerings as well, including signature hot honey garlic, honey barbecue, garlic parmesan, as well as the classic. Head to Popeyes, which is also we're in the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio here on the West End. Okay, I just put that there.
I know. I want to see the flavors again. I need to go check this out.
Yeah, I want the garlic to go do it. Let's start last. Pacific
place.
8.
Oh, going hot. Okay.
Yeah, let's go there.
Flames.
Really? You're putting the Flames right down at the bottom.
Flames stink. They're going to start stinking more. They got a young goalie in net. They traded Markstrom. Their only really high-end piece. And, yeah, I know that's throwing shade everywhere else, but their team has fallen off, and they tried to make those trades. Uyghur, the Kachuk trades and everything. The Oilers broke the Flames, and now the Flame is fizzling out, and they'll be 8th place in the Pacific Division. They will be not a good hockey team next year. And being in the city of Edmonton, sure, you want your rival to do bad.
You always do.
You
always should want them to be terrible.
You should.
Eric and I stand on that.
Competition, though.
Don't care. They're the worst. I want my rivals to be awful. I want them to have no fun. I don't care that the playoffs are better when they're playing each other. Sure, I want the Flames to stink if I'm an Oilers fan.
So you'd rather have your team go in there and stomp
100%, always.
the rival instead of having it so close where you're a nail biter and the most exciting game you've ever seen.
No, I want them to be awful.
I think I'm the exact opposite way. I'd like seeing the Flames be bad is quite humorous because they had such great talent, and it's rude of me to laugh at another team, but it is the Flames. It is the Flames.
Screw them.
Maybe I'm too nice, but yeah, Flames last place next year. You heard it here first.
Well, again, these aren't predictions. They're power rankings going into the season. I'll have to. I don't even need to expand on this. I just can't go anyone but the Sharks until they show me otherwise. They're just not a good hockey team, and they just. It's going to take a bit to get higher than that. Flames at least still have a couple of extra players, so I'm not betting against the Sharks for being the worst team. Going into the season, they're the worst Pacific team in my mind. Trev, what
celebrating.
are you smiling about?
Yeah, I'm blown away by Zach's take there. I don't necessarily like the Flames, but I agree with Maddie here. I think the Sharks are still on a serious rebuild. Just having look at their roster. Luke Kunin, who are you? I don't even know, right? It's the one thing the Flames do have, I will say, is they've got maybe some pretty bad players, but they are pretty bad NHL players, or just bad NHL players. But a lot of these guys are kind of AHL players. And so their defense, I saw Mark-Edward Vlasic had one of the worst statistical seasons for defense. If you looked at if you're an analytics guy, it was just atrocious. Jan Ruda, that. No one on this defense I really know anything about. Ty Emberson they have on your first shot, right? Who the heck are you? So I don't know anything about the Sharks roster, but what I do know, it's not good. It's very bad. In a few years, Will Smith, he's an absolute stud. He's going to be really good for them. Macklin Celebrini, obviously. Two exciting prospects coming up for you, but they're baby sharks right now. Yeah. Not quite a ferocious shark.
Essentially, I'm just looking at their offense and with those young guys to click, but it'll be hard to not be last place with that team. A part of me just liked saying the Flames to be last.
Sure.
And I get last, that. That's fair.
Second last.
So then who's second? Well, you have them last, so who's second last?
Sharks.
Okay.
Easy enough. I mean, to all the points that Trev had, there's not a lot of big-name pieces. Young guys are still coming up. Tons of AHL players on their squad that on most teams wouldn't even be playing in the National Hockey League. So, yeah, Sharks in 7th spot. Easily enough for me. Who's your last place spot, Maddie?
I had the Sharks.
Oh, yeah, the Sharks. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Who's your 7th?
I don't even need to explain the Sharks because they're that bad.
Second last.
7th to me they didn't really make any moves to add to their team. So they're basically hoping that their young players do take that next step up. I don't think it's going to be enough to jump out of this position going into the season, but it's going to be the Ducks still. Did they do anything really this offseason? Did they go out and add? So the players that they've acquired, it looks like Jensen Harkins and Carson Mayer.
Yeah, they did nothing. They're just
it doesn't look like they've really done too much. There's a couple of other players that they brought in. I'm looking at the players that they've brought. There's nothing. So the Calgary Flames, they aren't going to be good this year. Losing Markstrom, that equals quite a bit of points. but they still have a couple of other players. And like the Flames last year, 81 points, the Ducks 59. That's a 22-point difference. I don't see the Flames dropping that much fully, with the Ducks improving that much from there. So I probably still have the Ducks at 7. Trev?
Yeah, from one ferocious animal to a very innocent animal, I'm going with the Ducks as well. Kind of in the same boat. Like they're still trying to figure out who they are. The players that the prospects, I guess, that they're banking on are still, young players. They haven't quite solidified themselves. Leo Carlsson, he's going to be a stud. There's no doubt about it. But that was his first full. Well, that was like the first time you saw in the NHL load management on a player. So he's going to be getting a lot more reps. It's going to be exciting. That's one player you're gonna, if you're a Ducks fan, definitely watch for him. Trevor Zegras, whether he's in or out. It's a very interesting situation. I don't even know if he's going to be a Duck for. That's what the rumors are, the speculations. Who knows if he's going to be a Duck for that much longer? But Mason McTavish, obviously, a lot of hype on him. So they've got some decent players up front. Defense is fairly thin, and then John Gibson is he's John Gibson. So for all those reasons, I guess I'm having them 7th.
So then quickly, I'm going to guess Kraken 5, Flames 6, or do you put the Flames higher?
And seeing this is tough. It's going to be close. I'm not saying that both these teams are going to be like pretty bad. I think they're going to be like right around the 80-point mark, but I don't know.
So you don't think the Flames are going to have a real drop off from last year to this year?
No, not really. You're going to get Mantha. He might be overhyped, but Andrei Kuzmenko, that's one player, obviously in the Lindholm trade, he came over and he fit in way better than Lindholm did for Vancouver. He's a very skilled player, and you look at the highlight reel on this guy, there's no doubt about it. He's actually like really fun to watch. And that's the thing. Like as far as the forwards go, it's really not as bad. Connor Zary, who was a bright spot for them last year, Igor Sharangovich, who had a career year last year. And then you got Nazem Kadri, who can produce as well. Blake Coleman, career year. So the offense, there's a lot of good role guys. There's a lot of good, nothing that jumps out, which is too bad because obviously if Huberdeau was that 115-point player that they traded for, the offense would actually be pretty good. And then, defense, Mackenzie Weegar as well, a career year, but then it's pretty thin. You have Jake Bean, who never really turned out to be anything. I don't think that the only significant piece was Dustin Wolf. He's going to be the guy next year. And Jacob Markstrom, as much as he was good this year, you look at the year prior, everyone was trying to get rid of him. People were booing Markstrom like crazy. So it was kind of hot and cold with Markstrom. So for all those reasons as well, I think the Flames will be just as good, or I guess just the same as last year.
Same, yeah. So I'm going to guess Kraken 5, Ducks 6. Because you were talking about the Kraken being close to the Kings.
Yeah. So Kraken 5, Ducks in 6th spot. Now hearing it a little bit more was quite the reach, maybe. Flames in last spot,
but you never know, man. Crazier things have happened.
I did like Markstrom's play a lot last year, especially like he was just on fire. Probably. No, it actually wasn't, but he was on the mark. He was on the dot, and that pun was intended. Yeah, it's gonna be a battle for sure. I think the Flames can do it, but like they are trending downwards. I don't know. Kuzmenko, yeah, sure. He scored 20 goals last year for the Canucks. So if he can have that same play in a Flames jersey, he's there. Mantha, sort of wavering that line where he can be good sometimes, he can be overrated, can be overhated. So there's a couple of those players where I'm not too confident in their maybe compatibility, and maybe the Flames just turn into shambles. That's kind of what I'm seeing.
I got Kraken 5,
Yeah.
Flame 6. So that's how that rounds out for me. There you go. There's some Pacific Power Rankings for you here on the Oil Stream. For the Olympics, beach volleyball, that's coming up 2:30, the final for Humana Paredes and Wilkerson. And then we've got 6-7-1 semifinal coming up. Second semifinal. She's looking to book her spot in the final. Then we got a bronze and a final. And tomorrow breakdancing is Phil Wizard looks to bring home a gold for Canada in that department. Thanks to everyone for tuning in to the Oil Stream presented by Boston Pizza. Up next on the audio stream, a replay of the morning show with Lieutenant Eric, Walking Gauge, and YouTube. Trevor, reminder this weekend, 7 o'clock Riverhawks game on the station tomorrow. Green and Gold kickoff show on Sunday at 4 o'clock. Also the VIP golf show Sunday at 8 o'clock. And then next week we kick it all back up again on Monday morning, 6 o'clock. Dustin Nielsen, Lieutenant Eric, and YouTube. Trev, thanks to everyone for tuning in to the Oil Stream. On behalf of Trev, Zach, I'm Matt. Enjoy your weekend, and I will chat with you on Sunday.